guys, and welcome back to the Moon Yorkshireman. Welcome back to my Formula 1 mid-season driver rankings. That's right, it's that time again. 12 races down with 12 races to go. It's time for me to rate where I think the drivers are so far in terms of their performance this season. In the last episode, I did my driver rankings 20th to 11th. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I recommend you go watch it. I'll leave an icon in the corner of your screen there, or down in the description or something for you to click on so you can watch that video and then you can come back to this one. Great stuff. Great advertising, Josh. Get them views up. So this video, of course, we are going to be ranking the drivers 10th to 1st. The ones that I feel are in the top half of the field this season. The ones that have delivered some impressive results. The ones that have outdriven their cars, potentially. And the ones that are dominating championships. Who knows where they're going to be placed. But I'm going to be placing them from 10th to 1st. So to find out who's going to be number 1, you have to wait till the end, I'm afraid. Or just fast forward. You do you, hon. So in 10th place, I have gone for Lando Norris. Now this will be a surprise to everyone because everyone thinks that Lando Norris has had an incredible season. Oh my god, how brave is he? How strong is he? Oh my god, look how amazing he has been. He hasn't been that amazing though, has he? There have been multiple opportunities where he's been bottling it, throwing it away. Canada was a big one. The crash at Saudi Arabia in qualifying was another. He's just had a difficult season overall, and you can't say anything other than that. In a car that is truly dominant every single weekend, where it should be 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, all the way along for McLaren, and the only rival should be his teammate, he has been coming undone on several occasions. And this is the only reason why he's not leading the championship right now. It's because of those mistakes. He has not been able to string it together properly. The British Grand Prix, of course, only was won as a result of his teammate's penalty, which I agreed with that penalty, but he didn't have the pace to win it on merit, and that is still a concern for me going into the second half of the season. This is Lando's best opportunity to win a championship, and he's still throwing it away. Last year in 2024, everyone's going to say, oh, he was only ever an outsider, but he threw that away when that Red Bull car turned absolutely shite, and this time it's no exception. He's got the best car on the grid. He's only got one driver that he needs to beat, and he's struggling to beat that driver, as well as others as well that shouldn't have any right being in this championship battle, but they're out driving their cars. So yeah, for me personally, Lando Norris has to be 10th on this list and can be no higher because there's been so many more impressive performances in lesser machinery as well. Let's not forget that, and some true underdogs that have really been shining this season. And Lando Norris hasn't really had those shining moments. We've seen some good racing from him, but not fantastic. And Canada just sums that up. So yeah, for me, Lando Norris has had a difficult season this season. He may be sitting pretty in second in the standings, just a few points behind his teammate for that number 1 spot in the driver's title. But my God, the mistakes he's made this season, without those, he should be romping away with his championship. And yeah, he's just not delivered the goods. So yeah, for me personally, 10th place is Lando Norris. In 9th place, I have gone for Esteban Ocon. Maybe a controversial one there as well, perhaps. Oh my God, how can Lando Norris be below Esteban Ocon? Well, it's because Esteban Ocon has been doing a very good job with the car he has been given. He has beaten his teammate Ollie Behrman, which is fair enough because, of course, Ollie Behrman is a rookie. But Ocon has put in some good performances this season, and you can't deny what he has done with that car. Some great qualifying efforts, some great race pace as well when the one-lap pace hasn't been there of that Haas in qualifying. He's dragged that car from the back of the grid to score points. He's done some really good moves, really good overtakes. 23 points on the board for him right now, which is a good tally, a good score, and has scored more points than most of the other midfield drivers individually as well, of course. So he's sitting pretty. He's doing a good job. I don't personally rate Esteban Ocon. I think he's still a bit arrogant. I still think he's going to end up falling out with Ollie Behrman at some point. Probably after the British Grand Prix when Ollie Behrman crashed into him. That probably didn't go down too well. But, you know, Ocon, I think he's had a good first half of the season. You know, the first start of the season, it looked like Behrman was going to be matching him, but then Ocon found his feet quickly with this new team that he's adapted to, and he's just been going on and on and on, scoring some good results, some good points, and I don't think you can say any fairer than that. So yeah, for me, Esteban Ocon has been pretty much a surprise this season. I didn't expect to be rating him this high mid-stages of the season. So let's see how he goes forward towards the end of the season. But for now, for me personally, yeah, Esteban Ocon is 9th on this list because he's done a solid job with the equipment he's been given, and he's really carrying the Haas team right now, which is what they need. So yeah, well done, Esteban Ocon. Didn't think I'd be placing you this high, but you've been impressive. 8th place, and for me, the standout rookie of the season so far is Isaac Hajar. Isaac Hajar, well done, Isaac. You have been absolutely fantastic. Okay, the crash on the formation lap at Australia, we can totally forgive. But the rest of it has been incredible. Absolutely fantastic. We've not seen much of you that's been wrong this season. The qualifying performance he did at Japan, when his fucking testicles were hurting like a bastard because of his seatbelt was positioned wrong. I mean, what an impressive effort to be in that much pain and still deliver a Q3 performance. Incredible stuff, Isaac, and that's where the light switched. That's where it was like, it went from, okay, this kid's good, to, wow, this kid's got some ability, and there we go. It's not gone all his own way, of course. We've still seen some frustrating races. We've seen the car, degrade. The tyre degradation went away at the Austrian Grand Prix, didn't we? Floor damage as well was picked up in that race, which cost him points. So it could have been more points on the board for Isaac as well in certain opportunities, and the race unfolded slightly differently. The strategy's been slightly differently as well. As we mentioned in yesterday's video talking about Yuki Tsunoda, the strategy calls have been really poor at RB for the first couple of races this season and cost themselves big points. That includes Isaac Hajar as well. So yeah, a lot more points could have been scored by Isaac Hajar so far had things gone his way a little bit, but without that, I mean, he's been dominating his more experienced teammate in Liam Lawson, someone that Red Bull felt could go into that Red Bull seat immediately and not have to do a full rookie season at the RB squad. He's still showing him up and he's been demoted. So, for me, Isaac Hajar has been nigh on perfect this season. I can't spring to mind anything that he has done really wrong so far this season, and that's impressive from a rookie. So yeah, a great effort by Isaac Hajar, and that's why he's 8th on this list. A fair performance, a fair effort, and he's been doing a really good job. Well done, Isaac. You are 8th on this list. 7th place, I have gone for Fernando Alonso, and the reason why he's not any higher is because of that difficult start to the season he had. Australia, I felt really sorry for him. The car ahead of him threw up all that gravel onto the line, and it didn't matter who was behind that car. They were going to be stuffing it into the wall because of the loss of traction. Of course, worn intermediate tyres on a wet track that was getting wetter. He spaffed it off into the wall, but as I said, anyone else it could have been, and they'd have still been doing the same fate. But yeah, there's been some difficult races. He's had poor reliability. Monaco, of course, where he was running around inside the points, and that all went wrong. So yeah, it's been a challenge the first few races this season, but once he's found his feet, once he's finally got those points on the board, his racecraft and once again has improved. He's become the dominant team leader once again and has been massively outshining the likes of Lance Stroll and have been putting in some ridiculously impressive performances, picking up some P6 qualifying efforts, some top 8 finishes where a car doesn't belong to be, and has been really outdriving that car when it's sometimes been at its worst this season. So yeah, Fernando Alonso is 7th, and the only reason it's not higher is because of the little unfortunate start to the season he's had. But once again, proving that age is just a number and doing a solid job with the equipment he's been given. Okay, he's not quite overtaken Lance Stroll in terms of points yet this season, but I'm sure that'll be coming imminently, and he'll deliver a great result once again. So yeah, Alonso, 7th on this list so far. I think he's done a solid job this season, but it's just a shame he had that difficult start, isn't it? 6th place, I have gone for a controversial Oscar Piastri. Oh my God, and the McLaren fans cry. Oh, how can he not be leading it, Josh? Because he's leading the championship. You're so unfair. Thrown it away once again. This is the sheer dominance of Oscar Piastri should mean that he's miles ahead of Lando Norris. If Lando Norris has had this crap season that I'm saying, then it should be no reason why Oscar Piastri is not 20, 30, 40 points ahead of him. But when Lando's been dropping the ball, so has Oscar Piastri, and this is what's cost Oscar Piastri a top 5 position in this list. He's 6th for the sheer fact that he's thrown it away. Australia was unlucky, admittedly. They both went off on the wet track on a slick tyres. Cost him an easy P2. Instead, he ended up P9, so a lot of points lost there. I can let that slide, but again, Canada was a poor performance where the car didn't meet the requirements. It did. It's still a quick bloody car, and you didn't win in it, so that's your fault. And we've just seen various other races as well where he's just not been on pace with Lando. He's been making silly errors. British Grand Prix, once again, 10-second time penalty cost him the win. It was a deserved penalty. That was a silly error. Why did he have to jump on the brakes like that and cause nearly everyone behind to crash? Crazy stuff. So yeah, Oscar Piastri this season has had a better season than Lando, but when I mean by better, I don't mean perfect. It's been far from perfect. Qualifying's not been altogether this time around. Race pace and racecraft has not been there. Look at Austria, turn 4, nearly ploughed it into the back of his own teammate. Yeah, it's just been a tricky one, hasn't it? So yeah, for Oscar Piastri, he is sixth. He's been the better of the McLaren drivers, but he's been nowhere near perfect this season. The car he's been given, the mistakes that Lando Norris has made, he should be absolutely walking away with his championship. He shouldn't just be leading Lando by a few points. He should be, as I said, 20, 30 points ahead. And he isn't. And that's why he's sixth on this list. It's a great season. One of these McLaren drivers is going to be a champion. But yeah, Oscar, if he wants to be it, he's got to cut out the mistakes. He's made less of them than Lando, but he's by no means been perfect. Fifth place, I have gone for Alex Albon in the Williams, and who can blame me? What a great season Alex Albon has had, only let down these last few races due to the poor reliability of that Williams car that's, took him out of points, paying opportunities potentially. We had a couple on the bounce, didn't we? We had Spain as a retirement, we had Canada as a retirement as well. It's been tough. It's been a tough slog these last few races, but that's not Alex Albon's doing. That is certainly the team's error. Strategy errors, of course, have played a part, and of course the reliability, of course, is the team error as well. Mercedes potentially as well. It's been power units, hasn't it? So yeah, Alex though came out all guns blazing this season. We were expecting him to be the clear number 2 driver at this Williams squad. Carlos Sainz stepping in from Ferrari, who's a highly rated driver, but Alex has clearly delivered over the winter period, got his mind set, got his focus ready on who he needs to be, and he has done just that. 46 points against his teammates' 13 is a significant amount of points difference when you can't say either of them are rookies. There's not that excuse from any of them. They're both highly experienced. Alex Albon has been beating the likes of Ferraris and Mercedes on the day. He's had some great qualifying performances, some great race pace, and has just done incredibly well. So, yeah, Alex Albon, I can't speak highly enough of him. The only reason he's not a little bit higher is because of the poor reliability, that we couldn't really see the true picture of what was capable later on. In other races as well, retiring early from some of them. We saw that one bad race at Spain, didn't we, where he kept taking his front wing off. That was a difficult one, but we can allow one bad race in 12. But the rest of it has been nigh on perfect from Alex this season, and pretty much without the team letting him down, without the strategy letting him down, he could have had more points on the board. Well over 50, easily. So yeah, 46 points on the board so far for Alex is an impressive result. Carrying the Williams squad at the moment, and without him, the Williams squad would be a little bit lost, wouldn't there? And that seems bizarre to say when you've got the likes of Carlos Sainz sat next to you in the opposite seat. So yeah, he needs to beat his teammate. He's absolutely dominating him at the moment and doing a really good job. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out. But for now, Alex Albon, a clear top 5 driver. Fourth place, we come to Nico Hülkenberg. Just missing out on the podium places here, but Nico Hülkenberg, what a fantastic season he has had. The one-lap pace, he's not been as good as his teammate, but sometimes that has helped him be in the opportunities to score the points. Spain, had he not been eliminated in Q1, he wouldn't have had the soft tyres to go at the end to go on that attack to score that P5 finish. The British Grand Prix, okay, poor qualifying effort down there, out in Q1, 19th place or whatever it was. But because he made his own strategic calls, the team were adamant they wanted to put him for slicks at the start, and then in the early stages of the race, and then they wanted to put him for new inters, and then they wanted to leave him out on those inters when he wanted to go back to slicks. If you listen to that team radio, he controlled 90% of all those strategy calls that race that got him the podium place. It wasn't just about his race pace, it was about his racecraft as well. Him understanding the circuit, him understanding who he was fighting against, and this is all down to the experience that Nico Hülkenberg has. So yeah, his qualifying performances may not have been as impressive as what Bortoleto has managed to do this season, particularly Austria, where Bortoleto got into Q3 for the first time, and Hülkenberg was out in Q1. But Hülkenberg's race pace, the strategy that given by the team, was still able to get him back inside the points and put some impressive recovery drives in. So yeah, Nick Hülkenberg has been great this season in terms of race pace. Races when it matters, points are scored on the Sunday, and he has been really doing that since the updates of Sauber car have come in. He has been scoring those points no end, and he seems to just be on a wonderful runaway train of points. And I long hope it continues, because he is having a great season. His first ever podium achieved, and even without, everyone's going to be saying it's Nick Hulkenberg bias because he had that podium at the British Grand Prix. Even if it had been P4 and lost out to Hamilton at the end or something like that, or P5 because Gasly had a charge to the field or whatever, he'd have still been here a fourth on this list, because the podium is irrelevant for me personally in this ranking. It's how he executed to get the best possible result for the team, how he controlled the team with their strategy, how he was confident in his own ability to say, no, we're not doing it, yes, we're doing it, I am coming into the pits. And if you listen to those team radios, it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, I've always highly respected and highly rated Nico Hulkenberg. This season proves why I do, because he has been so good. So Nick Hulkenberg, fourth on this list. It's no surprise why. Third place, we come to Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, massively outdriving it. Third in the driver's standings at the moment. Third on this list, of course. And the only reason why he's third on this list is because of Spain. Lost his head completely against George Russell and tried to ram him off the road. And that is unforgivable. So he is docked a couple of places for that. But the fact that he's still in the championship mix, maybe not realistically, but certainly mathematically, third in the standings behind the two McLarens, is a ridiculously good performance considering how bad that Red Bull car is. He's had some really bad weekends like Bahrain, for example. Of course, the penalty that he was given at Spain only netted him 1 point when he crossed the line in P5. And then, of course, we had the likes of Austria, where he was taken out by Andrea Kimi Antonelli at the start and could do nothing. But it had been a difficult qualifying anyway, and maybe only a top 5 was possible. But still, the fact that we're talking about him being third in the driver's standings in a car that is just so difficult to race with is impressive. He's taken 2 wins, he's taken some fantastic pole laps as well, where they pulled him out of his arse. Where did the one in Silverstone come from? Of course it was the low downforce wing we found out at the end there, but even so, he's driven so well this season. Spain has to be punished. I know we're allowing people to have one bad race here and there, but you can't allow deliberate contact with another driver. But without that, he still had a fantastic race season overall, dragging that Red Bull to places it does not belong. So yeah, well done to Max Verstappen for being third on this list. But he could have been leading this thing. He could have been my most impressive driver this season had it not been for Spain. In second place, we come to, drum roll please, it's between 2 drivers, Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc rounds out the runners-up spot on this list, and he has had a great season, don't get me wrong, but there has been times where it's been frustrating to watch him falter at the hands of Ferrari. That's not his fault, that's the way that Ferrari's done it, but he has been dragging that car to places it doesn't belong at times, onto the podium more times than it deserved to be. But, of course, we had the likes of Silverstone, the British Grand Prix, where it was just a nightmare weekend for him. It really was, and that was a shame to say. The fact that he didn't score any points there was a bit of a shame. But these two were very close, it must be honest. The driver, of course, you know who's won now, but it was very close between putting these drivers where. So yeah, you know, I honestly think that Leclerc has done a stunning job this year, and by placing him second, I don't have any discredit to him at all, but in that, I just feel that there's been the driver ahead that's just done that little bit more. Leclerc, though, comes in, you know, he's had his 7-time world champion alongside him, just absolutely dominated him, absolutely having his pants down and beating him effectively. He really has been showing Lewis Hamilton who is boss at that Ferrari team, and he has done a fantastic job for the car he has been given. And yeah, you know, he's had some good races, he's had some great performances. Sometimes it's not worked out, but that's been the pace of the car 9 times out of 10. So yeah, for Charles Leclerc, he's second on this list. He's been really good and solid, as we already know. So that means, of course, in first place, there's no point to beat around the bush. You all know it is George Russell. George Russell, I certainly didn't expect to be placed in first on this list as we started the season, but what a great job he's had. What a great job he's been doing for this team. Multiple podiums, 1 race victory. He has been driving so well. I cannot think of a race where it's gone wrong for him. I can only think of like Japan, where he didn't get like overdrive the car. He just sort of got what was capable out of it in the race, and then as a result just finished there. Whereas I think had he outdrove the car in qualifying, he could have maintained maybe another podium position. There's not been anything where he's gone really wrong. He's always been delivering what is expected of him, or overdriving the bloody thing and really over-delivering. Okay, again, a bit like Leclerc, Silverstone was a bit of a dud. He went for the call to go for the soft tyres, the slick tyres when it was too early, and then of course the rain came again, so not only was he losing time on the slicks, but then it rained again, so then it had to pit for the inters again, and it was just a nightmare. It was a disaster. But again, we can forgive the roll of the dice at a home Grand Prix when you're talking about how the rest of his season has panned out so far. Totally dominating Andrea Kimi Antonelli, which we expected him to do, but maybe not to the point of like nearly 100 points ahead of him at 12 races in. So, you know, he's had his fair share of, impressive performances this year, and for me personally, George of the Russell has done so well and has driven so maturely, and I honestly think he deserves to be number one. And that is my personal opinion on that. So yeah, George of the Russell, for me, number one driver so far this season, hasn't really put a wheel or foot wrong, and has just been driving above and beyond what that car is capable of, and that deserves a full round of applause. So yeah, congratulations George of the Russell, you are first on my rankings list. So then guys, those were my rankings 10th to 1st. Let me know down in the comment section, did I get any wrong? Do you think there's any drivers that I didn't include in the top 10 that should have been here? Is there any drivers that are inside the top 10 that you would not place inside here? I look forward to the comments. I have no doubt that everyone's going to be telling me that McLaren should be 1-2 on this list and it should be Piastri ahead of Norris. But, you know, shoot me. I have gone with my guts. I have taken the cars out of consideration. I have just gone for sheer performances and what they have been doing with the equipment they have been given, and they have been doing exceptionally well. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section, do you agree with George Russell being first place on this list? Would you have placed someone else better? Would you have still put Max there despite the fact of what he did to George at Spain? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Thank you so much for watching guys, and as always, much love.